Welcome to episode 65 of Pineapples and Thorns. I'm Kat and Fado. How are you today?
I am okay. How are you?
Doing well. It's going to be a sweltering 37 degrees here again. That's like 90 something in Fahrenheit, I believe.
Yeah, we got like 3 more days of I don't know. I find this weather crappy. I'm sure there are a lot of people in the South that would be like, 90, huh? That's all it takes for you to cry? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got
Well,
me
yeah.
wishing for like the minus 20 winter temperatures.
Yeah. One day of that and you'll be
But the bright side is there's no wasps or mosquitoes in winter, Don't have to worry about that. I can still go out and grill.
Yeah, but there are yetis and abominable snowmen. I don't know. I watched enough Scooby-Doo to know that, no matter the weather, there's a beast lurking as a result of the weather.
It's a winter wonderland.
There
So,
you go.
all right, CFF news. Darth Yoda and the gang at SOG are hosting the Fall Champions Cup. It's going to be a one-night tournament on September 29th, and it's going to be streamed by our good friend Mordzors on Twitch. So a lot of fun last year. Bonsai Lemmings won it, and they are busy trash talking everyone again. But,
So, just fill us in. Who are the bonsai lemmings?
who are the Lemmings? They are, well, let's see, there was Flip is their illustrious leader, and then there's Peter and BG, and I think we've got some ringers coming in this time. A couple of the old members dropped off.
They're the favorites.
They're the
And
favorites.
okay, I need to get my application into them then. So I can be like a sub and then say I won. I won.
They've got a ringer coming in. C note Ace is in there. Yeah, it's a good team, and they deserve to win last year. But the MHE crew will be taking off their gloves, and they're planning to throw the Lemmings off the cliff. So
Well, and who's the MHE crew and what does MHE stand for, Kat?
MHE stands for Magnus Hates Everything.
Oh, toxic.
And it's obviously Magnus is on the team, and Vodka Soda, and Tigo, and Hades, and Shandon, and Mere Mortal.
Wow. Yeah, that's a squad that can give bonsai lemmings all they can handle.
Oh yeah, no mercy. Let's see. Also, a bunch of us went over to do Trample Damage's No Weapons event. I, due to some circumstances, wasn't able to attend, but apparently it was a lot of fun. It's amazing how many troops have weapons, like wall breakers and archers and barbarians.
Yeah, it really does limit you to a small number of troops. Um,
Dragons,
I-
pretty much. It's like because you can't use loons, right? Because like the little skeleton guys throw bombs, right? So it's a weapon.
they probably would have let me use them because, most of the time mine will die before they even get a shot off. So, I mean, is that a consideration for next time, maybe?
It could be. So only a few people forgot and used things like super wall breakers, and archers. So, but apparently it was a lot of fun. So, let's see. We also did a very fun collaboration with our good friend C Note of the Clash Tours podcast, a joint episode where we had a live audience. So we had lots of questions from the audience, and we even had some people manage to get up on stage for a short interview. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, I like the use of the verb manage.
Well, one thing we discovered is that on a live recording, nothing ever goes to plan. And so Sino did the editing on that podcast for us, and thank you for all his hard work on that. There was a lot of tinkering and cleaning up needed, and it was released with a few audio quality issues, but I think overall it was a lot of fun and a great success. And
Yeah, I never would have had my camera on if I knew that that was introducing problems into the recording.
well, who knew, right? They don't know until you
Right,
try. Right?
right. So I'll post selfies or something during the next live one.
I think the audience had a lot of fun with that. And Clash Anniversary. Let's talk a little bit about that. 11 glorious years of Clash of Clans. Notice I said glorious.
I'm waiting for the glory.
Looking back, do you have a favorite memory of the game?
Yeah, this is gonna be so random, and no one. We back in the Town Hall 9 days, I was in a clan that, some of the guys were out. It was more of a Pacific Coast time zone clan, and they like to spin late for them. So the
Mhm.
wars for me would start at like 2, 3 in the morning. So what was really memorable about this, it was one of those types of wars. It was a random war. Random. I mean, this was before leagues and all that. But as a 9, like we were in a really good war with some other clan that was like it was just an equal footing, evenly matched war. And we
Mhm.
were down to the last couple attacks, and like several people had tried to hog a base. And so I did like a single golem with a queen to get like a couple things, and then just did a mass lalo on it, and it just smashed the hell out of the base. And
Wow.
it was just the best feeling ever. Like back then, right? There were no leagues or anything. You have a really fun war, and there's a lot of spectators at 12:30 in the morning Eastern or whatever it was. Um, and we needed that triple. And so that of all things, just something that no one sees, no one saw, um, outside of the people in the war, obviously, but
Mhm.
that was just so cool. That was like everything the game should be, where you just have that success and it makes you want more. Um, that was definitely, anytime like you break a drought or a losing streak is
Mhm.
always a really good feeling, and that's all it takes to keep you going. Right? It's like a drug, right? You want your next fix, you want your next triple, and sometimes you'll go a long time without one. I
Tell
will.
me
I
about it.
know. Yeah. So I can go a while without one, and then when you get it, it's like, all right, I know I was bitching about wanting to quit a week ago, but I'm in now. And then, I can't
I'm
tell you how many times,
re-energized.
yeah, how many times that has happened. Especially since, like, I don't know, Town Hall 14, where, they sure pros had high hit rates, but people like me didn't.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's always the thing is like the pros are hitting at, 50% or higher, and the rest of us, maybe 10%, 20% if we're lucky.
Yeah, I would say
So,
now, I think I've heard them talk about 60% over
yeah.
the last week. There's been a lot of great, 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 great Clash content recently, right? You had all
Oh,
the
for sure.
Snapdragon stuff, and
Mhm.
gosh, you have just seen some really cool stuff. And yeah, on some of those casts, I've heard them talking about, what, 60%, that if you can beat 13, you're in pretty good shape most wars.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely the Snapdragon wars were a lot of fun to watch.
Hmm.
Interesting to see,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
because we have I won't call them friends. We have acquaintances, and we definitely have
Mhm.
favorites there. Who Van from VM
Amphibian,
is
yeah.
on Aphelion, yeah, and of course Agent 33.
Yeah.
And I would never think of even, to call Gar an acquaintance is a bit of a stretch even, but I'm a huge, huge supporter of his. And
Definitely.
he has been clutching things right and left for them. And yeah, it's so cool to have a rooting interest, and they're on, a pretty big stage and succeeding. So, hats off to them.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if I'm looking back at a favorite memory, I mean, there's quite a few, but just meeting so many people, like quote unquote meeting, getting to know people, doing the various types of events. I mean, I started doing events when I joined Clash Babes. That's a blast from the past, and we did a ton of events there, and through that, I met some wonderful people like ODS and got introduced to VM and some other clans, and eventually I was able to
You became
play.
their server manager, right?
I became their mascot, and to, I was lucky enough to be able to play in the old CWL, not the Supercell one, but the Community League one, CWL Invite Season 9, and that's probably one of my most favorite memories is the fact that VM ended up winning that season. So and I was lucky enough to be able to play with like Agent and Van and Boom was on the team. So it was pretty amazing for little old me to watch some of their attacks.
Well, you're. I think that's my favorite memory now. Screw my Lalo from 7 years ago. What you did, I'm just gonna do that vicariously.
I just rode
That
their coattails, so
that was great when we won CWL, wasn't it?
it was great.
Yeah,
Yes, it was quite the celebration afterwards. So
I remember vividly. That was great. I had the lampshade over my head. I was
I
dancing
thought
on
that
the
was ODS.
table.
I don't actually
Like
know
I
this
said, this
guy.
is all vicarious, right?
Oh,
So
okay. Oh yeah, no, I think that was just a great memory, and I'm sure there's other things that I could think of. Um, did you ever think that you would still be playing this game 11 years later?
I don't even know. Like there was a time, and it wasn't even a year in. I probably tell this story a couple times on this podcast, or for those who haven't heard it, where right before Clan Wars came out, and back then they didn't do sneak peek, long sneak peeks, or
Hmm.
their update and release schedule wasn't as known or as regular as it seems now. But I just was just like farming and maybe a Town Hall 6 or something. I was like, what's next? Like, what even is this? Like, you just farm and build, and then what? So,
Yeah,
but then Clan Wars came out, and in our clan, we're just like, whatever clan I was in, someone just pressed the button, and yeah. So I don't think I thought I'd be playing this long. I certainly didn't early, but Clan Wars made it the game, to stick with.
hmm
And not only Clan Wars, but the clans itself, right? You find like, well, geez, I'm sitting here doing hog attacks in Town Hall 9, and everyone is just doing go wee wee and praying. Like I kind of wanted something different,
right.
and that's how you end up finding like-minded people. So you may end up shooting for the stars and not making a clan that has a million YouTube videos and all that, but that's how you get a little bit more known. You understand the community a little better. You see who some of their peers are, and you get to meet people that way, for better or for worse, and you end up in a clan that's right sized, and that also helps you stay in it.
Yeah,
Feel
for
bad for
sure.
the people who never found a home like the one that you've built for us.
Yeah, but there's so many other good clans, and what's really nice is that when Cino goes to visit all these other clan families, it's we're kind of riding his coattails and meeting these people, when they join his server, and just realizing that there's a lot of other great groups out there. So it's nice that we have our little family, but it's nice to know that there's a strong community out there as well.
Yeah, how strong can it be if they're following C Note though?
Super strong.
It's like the life of Brian, right?
Yeah,
So,
as long as they all
suddenly,
don't drink Pepsi.
uh, suddenly he turns around and there's a bunch of people following him like apostles. He's just, oh, will you all f off, like the movie? Sorry, I'm letting my imagination get carried away. What was next?
What is next? Besides Clan Wars,
Hmm.
what do you think is the best addition to the game that they have given us?
I've thought about this, and I can only talk about something that's keeping me in the game right now. That's Diggy.
Diggy is the
And
best
yeah,
thing. Oh,
yeah, because most of my hits, like the RC with the Diggy, is just about the last guy up, but Diggy's going around stunning everything, and the Royal Champion can finish off like a lot of stuff if Diggy's alive. And
yeah.
so right now, Diggy.
Well, it really is hard to imagine, life before hero pets and siege machines. How did anybody ever triple?
Yeah, when they were teasing Town Hall 14, they had all those screenshots, and it did not take long for people to pick up on the owl in the screenshots. So,
Uh-huh.
I mean, no one, we didn't understand the concept of pets at the time, but we're like, is there a new troop coming? So, um, yeah, when pets entered, I think the pro hit rates have only gone up and up and up because of
Hmm.
the pets, the things they can do with their heroes with pets in a
Well, just
minimal
selecting a
amount.
different pet depending on what kind
Yeah.
of attack you're doing, right?
I've never. Oh, you
That's
can switch pets?
a novel concept. Yes, you can switch your pets.
Well, I will look into that.
Yeah, for me, that's a really tough one because I think the poison spell was such a game changer that it's one of the top. things on my list. The ability to do friendly challenges in game, I think, is probably one of the best things.
Yeah, and I don't really do a lot of that, and it probably shows, but um I probably it's
Yeah.
strange though. Like I probably would do more, probably. Maybe not, but I probably do more if all wars were like friendly attacks and you could just there were no restrictions on
Hmm.
unlocked super troops.
Yeah. I mean, really, when you look back and you start naming off all these things, it's a really amazing, all the little things that they've added to the game that have just enhanced the experience over the years.
Yeah, and things they had added out of at the start of the game or came with the game very early or at the beginning. I wasn't here at the very beginning, but they almost phased out. Think about
Hmm.
the loot cart, right? That
Oh
used to
yeah.
be like a good thing back when, back in the early town halls, and that loot would really be helpful. But now I don't even know if it's still there. But I've been in Legends, so I don't think it ever pops up anymore.
Yeah.
But um, that was kind of a neat thing. And now that people at the highest town halls, for the most part, will be in Legends, and it's kind of not there. And even if you aren't in Legends and you're at a higher town hall, that loot is pretty negligible.
Yeah. I'm
It's
really shocked that you didn't say that Builder Base was the best addition to the game.
Yeah, well, I can smell a trap when it's being laid, Cat. So I knew
It's
to
my
stay away
segue.
from it. Yes,
So tell me what you think, Fado. Is Builder Base salvageable, or should they just admit defeat, trash it already?
I I don't know. Like I think I, if there is a community or audience for it, I'm not aware of it. Um,
Hmm.
we had Itsu recently who said, said something similar about Clan Capital. He said, well, you'd probably be surprised. He doesn't know numbers. We obviously don't know numbers, but
Hmm.
we don't know how much is being played. Um, I know there's a YouTuber who does Builder Base exclusively, but that's just one, right? Like they don't
Yeah.
do Clash doesn't promote it in a way, right? Sure, they had a huge update to it in the last year, but there's no tournaments for it, right? There's no competitive anything for it. Um, Clash doesn't do YouTube anything for it. So, um,
It was kind of like, here we made it better, sort of, kind
they
of.
made, yeah, they made it better. I think so. Yeah, because I don't have to sit here and wait for some Jamoke to drop,
Yeah.
his 80th sneaky archer or whatever, to finish before I can continue on my way trying to get
Strategic,
my,
sneaky archers.
yes, yeah, surgical, right? So,
Surgical.
but it doesn't feel like they're pushing it hard. And you think about it, like whatever team was involved in building that out, they gotta be like, where's the love for this, man? We just plowed a bunch of time and effort into this. Um,
For sure. I
but
mean, it would have been a huge amount of work to revamp it. And
yeah,
I
and I
don't
mean,
know if it doesn't. I mean, people kind of just play it for clan games, right? Like
clan games.
especially
Yeah.
those of us up in Legends.
And there's 600 points in it roughly, in a season pass. So you do your
Yeah,
hit. Um, and it's easy to get a star with the way this is all set up now.
yeah. And I mean,
Uh,
they did revamp the gold/silver pass to include more builder based stuff and a
sure,
little bit of clan capital stuff.
sure, they bank for it now, which is
Hmm.
something, I guess. But I mean, what's the rush? Like, let's say you get this sucker maxed in a couple months or whatever, and um, so what's the big deal though? What do you even do with a max base? You're just still doing one-on-one stuff, and by
Exactly,
now, the name of the game with Clash is war, and warring with your team. So it's still just a one-on-one thing. So you know what? So is it salvageable? I don't know what their plans are. But right now it's just an extra way to move through the season pass and clan games quicker.
yeah. Yeah, I definitely prefer the clan capital to the builder base.
I
If I
think I
had
do
to
too.
if,
Yeah.
if I had to choose between the two, I'd definitely have keep clan capital because it's more of a war-ish kind of a format. You are going up against other clans each weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it was what about this time last year we had grand designs of, oh, we should get on voice and do this, and I think it took like 2 or 3 weeks. And we're just like, no,
Yeah.
no, we're just do your stuff and whatever happens happens. And I mean, I think Red Thorn is probably, if we haven't maxed our last set of walls, which is the very last thing to do, um, then we'll do it in the next week or two. And so again, though, it gets like, okay, well, what's the actual reward?
Hmm.
Well, from a clan capital perspective, it's not all that much, but from a single player or a player perspective, it's huge, right? Those raid medals, um, God, they're awesome. You
Yeah.
can sit there and fill your own clan castle, and especially like when weeks in CWL, we all get split up into groups of 15 or 18 or whatever, and we're spread across so many clans. Where the clan castle requests don't get filled quite as quick, and sometimes you want to log in and do your 2 legends hits or something real quick, and so that's where the raid medals come in huge.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking of clan games, they just ended. It was a special Clashiversary one. 75,000 to max rewards. Did you max all of your accounts?
Well, I have 4. I only played on 2, but they both maxed.
Yeah.
And a shout out to Lincoln Log for not realizing it was the beginning of clan games. So, because he's usually done before I even wake up on day 1.
That's so
So
true.
I think he was just feeling extra generous this month. And what's really weird about clan games, and this bothers the heck out of me, is so let's say throughout the 6-day period you end up first, second, or third, or whatever. But when they
Hmm.
show the results at the end, it's not ordered like that. I can't give you a logical reason of the ordering. So when you look at the results and you're there to pick up all your goodies, um, and then you switch over and see how the clan did. Like I think I was in the top 3 this last time,
Hmm.
probably because Lincoln Log overslept. Um, but I looked and I was like ninth or something on the final list. I was like, that's really weird. It doesn't bother me. I mean, it's not like we get promoted to Kat's favorite co-leader or something if we finish in the top 3. There's no, but it's just kind of something that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm not. To be honest, I never really looked.
Oh,
Just
well, let's give it 3 weeks or so and have a
uh
look when you're there
okay,
to collect your rewards. Go to look
okay,
at the clan, and because I know you're one of the usually the first few to finish. So and you go and throughout the week, you're like, once you hit your max, go see what place you are, because you're you're
okay,
you're you're locked in there once you finish. And
right.
then when you go to collect, look at the order of results again. So um, to me, it's such a minor thing, and it really doesn't make any difference. But I was like, dude, that so it's not the same. So what changes?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's their algorithms always puzzle me.
So this is what you get when you ask me if I max my accounts. You get a like old man yelling at cloud rant.
Well, speaking of ranting, what did you think of the types of challenges? Were there too many small ones? Because I found that all I was getting was like 100 pointers, 150. It's like, where are the really nice large point reward ones, like 800, 1,000?
I thought they phased some of those out. Like, didn't they make a minor change to clan games in the last year where they said, well, we're gonna we're not gonna give those big ones anymore, but there's going to be more small ones or something. And
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
just find the small ones so tedious.
They are like gem mines. I mean, come on, like
Yeah. But even the ones where, you would get like a super troop, right? And that's usually about 1,500 points. I didn't see any of those this time at all. But maybe somebody's just grabbing them before I can see it even.
Lincoln Log probably,
I
right?
feel all corrected. Lincoln.
Is it in
So
need of a major revamp? Well, if you say so, Kat.
I just want more points so I can finish faster. Okay, let's talk about September. We have new skins for September, Chess Queen, etc. Did you buy the gold pass to get the Chess Queen, and what do you think?
I buy the gold pass so I can do my donations. Um,
Hmm.
and if a skin comes with it, I'll get it. Um, I haven't completed a set since Dark Ages,
Okay.
and I'm not sure I'm going to complete this one.
Yeah, I'm kind of cutting back on the number of skins and sceneries that I've purchased. It's really got to grab me
So
in
you're
order to purchase it.
only getting it on your main then, right?
Yeah.
You're
Well,
not
yeah,
buying it
if
on
I do,
all 12 of your accounts.
I'll see. Like I didn't buy last month's. The future ones. I didn't buy any of the other ones. So I liked the scenery, but
This is a breakthrough.
yeah, I think all the months of interventions are starting to sink in.
There you go.
And, but I think the chess queen is nice. It's all tied into this clash chess competition that they're supposed to be running. I think it's coming up this weekend, next weekend. So we'll have to keep an eye on that to see what's involved with that. I don't really understand all the details on it yet. I haven't seen too much. Just that there's going to be some content creators participating in it from each side, and it's supposed to meld chess and Clash of Clans. So sounds interesting.
I would love to get in there and just be myself and be like, "Oh, my horsey." No, so that's a knight. Oh no, this pointy head guy. That's a bishop. Yeah,
Looks like a king. Um, did you do the challenge that
I
came out?
did. I did. Thank you, Trample Damage.
That's right.
It's always cool looking at the little creator's name on the clan castle, and then right there is our buddy. So way to go,
Yeah, nice. It
Trample.
was a nice one.
I did it, and I was able to swag a bit. Not as much as Stars, but
Uh-huh.
I definitely swagged quite a bit on that. But it was fun. It reminds me that I need to use the recall more.
It really is a fun spell, like when you play around with it, and yeah, I don't use it enough. I know some people do use it regularly, and I saw it used this weekend on the Snapdragon.
Hmm. Yeah, that man, I just it's interesting though, right? You watch pros play, and it makes you want to try new. It that also helps keep your Clash motivation up, and I like that Trample is he included things in his challenge that um it wasn't as challenging as the Yuta one, my God, but
Yeah. Well, that's the
um
nice thing is like, he made it so that it was slightly challenging, but
mhm,
it was doable. And,
mhm.
uh, I think with the challenges, like some of them are just, so complex that, you have to do this and this and this, drop your hero here and drop a troop over here. There's too many moving parts.
Was it a year ago or 2 years ago where they were repurposing things from Worlds? Like they would take
Yes.
a base, like, oh, you've got to be able to use this army to beat this base. And it's like, well, this is a Worlds base, dude. I'm just an average dude, man. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's fun to, for the average player to say, hey, I took this army and I went in and I beat this base. I had to use a walkthrough, but, I beat it and, it's an achievement, right? But it takes time. And I know for me personally, with the various clans that I'm helping out in and, my day job and all the other things that I'm doing, it's just I don't have a lot of time to devote to these challenges, and if I did, I'd probably be a little more successful at them. But yeah, no, this one was a lot of fun, and thanks to Ace, he kind of gave me some tips on how to beat it because I'm not a chess player. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about what do you think the best method of improving Clash of Clans is? Like as a player, do you think it's better to be up in Legends League or do friendly challenges? Friendly wars, regular wars.
I think friendly wars and friendly challenges are probably the two best ways because with Legends, it really is a roll of the dice, right? You don't get to tailor your army. You get presented a base, and you got to do your best with what you brought. Um, so I'm not really sure that's the best way to get better. It's a good way to if you really want to learn a single strat, because you got to find a way to fit your square peg into whatever shaped hole you've been presented. Um, but with FCs and friendly wars, you can pick any army. You
Hmm.
can You're not locked down to the troops that you've unlocked for super troops, and you can train it in no time. So I would prefer that, and I say that as a person who doesn't do a lot of FCing.
Yeah. Like, unless they could take Legends and turn it into something where you could adjust your army. You have 30 seconds. Same thing as like in Builder Base, right? It's like you have 30 seconds, and okay, well, maybe I really need a sneaky goblin over here. And but then again, like you'd have to have them unlocked. So I don't know what the fix is for that, because I know in Legends you're just forcing whatever army you have trained on that particular base, and if you're
Yeah,
lucky, it you might triple it.
yeah, and with more of a random war, you have a much wider selection of bases, and there's a better
Yeah,
chance. Like if you're just walking around with your Legends army trained, then and you're early enough in war and you can call it base, you can usually find a couple bases you really like.
right.
With it doesn't matter your favorite strategy. There's usually something in there you like.
Yeah, and it is nice, like whether you're doing an FC or in a friendly war, you can custom tailor your army to whatever you need without having to have it unlocked. So, that's definitely, I think, probably the best way for people to improve. And again, I'm like you, I don't do enough friendly challenges.
I
So,
generally like look at those and be like, do I really want people to go back and see my name next to a 0 star 21%?
but
And
there's never any judgment. It's like just throw up FCs and just try something. I think I need to start doing that more, because I do want to try some different armies, and it's better to try them in friendly challenges and see if it actually works before I
yeah,
venture out into the big wide world.
you had me there for a sec. You said throw up FCs, and I heard throw Pepsis, and I was like, wait a minute.
Let's talk a little bit about recruiting, because most clans out there are trying to recruit using the supercell current method. Do you think it? And I know Darian and the others have said absolutely not. We're not bringing a global back ever again. But you know what? Let's really be honest. It was the best recruiting tool in game that they had, because for all its faults, when I was with my original clan, you could go into global and you could talk to people and say, hey, are you looking for a clan? You could look at their base, see if it was rushed or if it fit with what you want. And then, you could have a discussion with that person and say, would you like to come over to my clan? Whereas now it's just really random. These accounts come up if you hit search for players, and people are in clans, and you just bombard them with invites, right? And most of them just delete, reject invitations. So, how does someone starting up a clan reach out to people in game to get them to join their clan? You can leave your clan open and hopefully somebody finds you and request to join, but it's not really very efficient or effective.
No, you're right. I mean, that's a challenge. In order to do that, you you've got to have something beside Clash, right?
Hmm.
Uh, you've got to be part of a community already, in a way, right?
Yeah.
You've got to, and what I mean by that is, let's say you're active in the Twitch chat of a streamer or something, or something like that. You're never going to find people in Clash and have yourself a new clan in any short amount of time. You've got to have help. You've got to be known, whether it's, oh, hey, this guy is on Discord or this guy's on Reddit or,
Hmm.
etc. I mean, really, isn't that kind of how it all goes?
Yeah, I mean, Reddit does have, Reddit recruit and all that stuff where you could post to try and recruit members. And I know back in the days with Kent Greenhouse, we would post there all the time, and we were pretty successful in getting people to join. But then Kent Greenhouse was a very well established clan, and it was a teaching clan, so it attracted newer types of players, and they were able to learn attack strategies and all that. So, but if you're just starting out a clan and you've only got maybe you've got 5 people, maybe 10 if you're lucky of your friends, the clan, you
Yeah.
know, to try and recruit people so you can do things like SCCWL and clan games successfully. It's tough.
Well, that's how a lot of people that we know got into Clash, right? You got into Clash through or Peter got into Clash through his child, and
Hmm.
so there was multiple. You knew people that were playing it, and that's how some of these things formed. And that even goes, oh, dating myself here, back to Unreal Tournament back in like the year 2000. Like one of my favorite clans I was ever in was started by a bunch of kids
Hmm.
in the same high school, and they just stuck together. And like I somehow became part of that, even though like I was kind of like Wooderson, right? I was like the creepy dude with all the high schoolers, right? I was only like 20 something at that point, so um, but all these things kind of start outside of the game anyway, right? Somehow, whether it's
Yes.
Reddit, whether it's real life friends, family, so many of these things start from there. Because I guess back to the original question, I don't even know how you start from scratch uh, without anything on the outside. You're really up to a lot of randomness to get like decent clanmates and committed clanmates.
Yeah, it's a very painful growing process for sure. So I wanted to mention that some of us, C Note, Ace, Storm, recently started Town Hall 2 accounts, like any of us need more. I have to admit, it's really fun playing the lower levels. We aren't going to be low level very much longer. As of this recording, Ace is a max Town Hall 7 and chomping at the bit to move up to a Town Hall 8.
What's stopping him?
Well, we've told him he can't get too far ahead of us. The rest of us are kind of taking our time.
Is he
On,
gemming
on
his way through?
maybe. No comment.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, let's talk a little bit about fall update. What do you got,
Yeah.
Fado?
Um, just a little bit of speculation. Really, that's
Hmm.
all. I don't think they've really been teasing much. Worlds are coming very soon, and it was about this time last year when 15 dropped after Worlds. Um, so it could be some new little levels on Clan Capital. It could be some new villages on Clan Capital, I guess, or builder base. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. I think most of the focus right now is on the competitive scene and where they are on their calendar. So there hasn't, and Supercell had their summer. I believe it's pretty. If it's the beginning of September for us as we sit here and record this, they're probably approaching full time nighttime already
Hmm.
in Finland. So I don't. No one's mum's a word. Like we usually do get a fall update. Could be balancing. But
Yeah,
just don't know.
it's hard to say, right? Because I know they'd mentioned that, their timeline roughly for new town hall levels for the main village is roughly every 18 months. And so what they could do in the meantime to sort of give us stuff to work on is they could very well drop some new levels for the clan capital because I checked this morning and Red Thorn is completely maxed, and I'm sure many other clans are out there are similar. So yeah, it's people are going to be looking for things to do on clan capital. So we could very well see a few new tiers because the map certainly has space for it. I don't think you're going to give us anything on builder base anytime soon, which is okay by me.
Hmm. And then do you have, when you think about this wide open blue sky, uh, I want this, that, and the other for the update. What does your wish list look like, Kat?
My wish list. The ability for items in the gold pass to stack. So if I have a book of heroes and there's two books of heroes in the gold pass, it just gets converted to gems because I can't stack those. But I'd like to stack them because I know down the road there's going to be more hero levels at some point, pet levels, whatever. So why can't I'm paying cash for the gold pass? Why can't those items stack? And I know they did on anniversary, where they have the freebies. They put them instead of putting them in the trader post, they put them in the shop. And
Mhm.
that way it was free, but they stacked. So there must be some kind of workaround they could do for the gold pass if they wanted to. And I know there's probably economics about why they don't want you to stack them, but I'm purchasing this product, I should be able to stack items. And I've heard that from more than one person.
Yep. I think Itsu's numbers of his stack stuff was bonkers. Right? He said 50 books of heroes and things like that. I was like, yeesh.
Well, yeah, it makes sense for pros and people in content creation to want to be able to stack, because then when an update does drop, they can quickly get up to speed so they can put out content for people.
Yeah, I don't understand the limit in a way, but also from a money sense of things for them. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, don't like it, but I can see it. Another thing I really, really want is the ability to edit the clan mail feature. So when I'm typing out a clan mail, and everybody knows when I'm typing on my iPad, I'm a terrible speller because I type too fast and I make a mistake and I'm not paying attention. And I type out this really nice long clan mail. And right at the beginning, I've made a spelling mistake. I have to delete it all and go back and start all over again.
Yeah,
Really neat.
that's a big one. I
Yeah.
get it.
It's a
And
quality of life thing for
for
leadership.
you,
For
for
me
you,
personally, I need this
and the clan
personally.
description, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the ability to edit your army in Legends League, similar to how it's done on Builder Base. Just maybe you can't select anything you want as far as super troops go, but maybe I need an extra loon, or maybe instead of an ice golem or golem, maybe I want to take giants. Why can't I just quickly do a few edits in the 30-second window for Legend League?
Maybe pick from one of your quick train armies.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just swap it out. And again, I'd have to have the super troops unlocked in order to but if I have certain troops unlocked and maybe I want to do a ground attack on a base I see instead of an air attack, yeah, it'd be really nice to be able to just quickly swap stuff out.
Oh, good thinking. I like it.
What
I like
about
it.
you? Do you have anything?
Um, I I don't disagree with that. I just think maybe some balancing. I do wish I feel like the Rage Tower is a little too overpowered. Maybe shorten its range a bit. Um, maybe, please. But I haven't really come up with anything, because 15 is kind of fun again once Super Hogs came out, at least for me. Um, no, it's in an okay place for me right now, but knowing there might be A, some balancing coming, or B, a new town hall coming in its
Hmm.
entirety sometime in the very near future.
Not near, not near. I hope.
It's probably going to be, well, easy in the next 6 months, you would think, right?
We don't want to think that far ahead. No, I'm still trying to figure out 15. So.
All right. So, some of our loyal listeners, and Magnus have submitted some questions for us. So first, this one is from Peter. Kat, who was your first celebrity crush?
Uh, you know what? I don't know if I ever actually had a
Oh,
crush.
you're nervous. It's okay. It's me. It's okay.
You know what? I really don't think I had a celebrity crush as a teenager. I was so into my books and stuff that I didn't really pay much attention.
All right, do you have a celebrity crush now?
Well, it's always Jason Momoa. It's always my celebrity crush.
Gotcha. And so if you and he were waiting in line to get into, I don't know, pick a restaurant, what's the best pickup line you would use on him?
Oh gosh. My mind is blank. I can't think of anything.
Ooh,
I would just
hold on. I'm getting hot now. Whew.
I have nothing on this one, Peter. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person. I can't think of it. I've never had to use a pickup line. So
So
and I don't
yeah.
know if I've ever had a pickup line used on me.
Oh boy. Well, your husband must have made an impression at some point.
That's another story.
Fair enough. Um, I just want to go to the next question because I don't think I have anything good for you.
Well, thanks for putting me on the spot.
Well, for celebrity crush, gosh, I don't know. There's probably some like role role actress in 80s movies that I was like, oh wow. No, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but when you're a teenager, oh yeah, I think like Alyssa Milano, probably back when the
Hmm.
Commando era, when she was a kid, because I was a kid at that time.
Right.
Do I have one now? Um, I mean, uh, I don't know, Dua Lipa. I don't know. I I really can't think of one. Conan O'Brien, even though I'm not bi, I just I love him in the most in the way that a guy who's a fan of like him can love him. So the best pickup line ever used or used on me. Holy cow. Peter, like I know we you didn't submit this question like 5 minutes ago, but I'm still didn't come up with anything good. I think once,
It's such a
you know,
disappointment to him.
well, is it hot in here or is it just you, Peter?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Magnus wants to know what your impressions were about Clashiversary, Kat.
Um, I think it was pretty meh as far as I'm concerned. You know, for a game that's been around this many years, you'd kind of expect them to just hype themselves up. And really, there was just, it's kind of almost like, well, here's some free stuff. It's kind of like an afterthought, right? And even last year for the 10th one, like they kind of hyped it, but it wasn't like, I mean, I would have expected them to be all over all the social media going, look at us. We've been around for 10 years. How many
Well,
mobile games can say that?
well,
You
yeah,
know,
they did a ton for it, right? They did the retro. They even had the mini game, the arcade game.
they did. Yeah.
And yeah, like this year, so thank you, Magnus. So it was kind of meh.
Yeah.
Um, why didn't they hype it up a bit better? I think a big part of that's their vacation schedule, and
Yeah.
um, maybe they're cooking up something better.
There's always that hope.
So Ace wants to know when we're doing another live podcast. Now that we've all found the join stage button on our phones.
He just wants a chance to get up on stage because everybody else got up on stage except him.
Yeah,
So
I don't think we're ever doing it again. Thanks.
that was your one shot, Ace.
And then
Yeah. I'd love to
Magnus.
do another live.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Uh, when though?
I don't know. Could be sooner than people think.
Yep. Yep. It helps relieve us from having to come up with content in a relative dry spell for Clash content. So
We'll just bring Ace up on stage.
yeah. And then Magnus again. What is your current favorite town hall level to play?
Current favorite. Well, okay, I'm going to ignore my Town Hall 9 because that's always my favorite because I know I can pretty much 99.9% of the time walk in and triple. 13, I'm having some fun with. I'm not
What's
a max 13, but I'm playing around with Queen Charge Hybrid on that one, and
Is
I'm
that giving
enjoying
you
that.
confidence to pull that out at 14 or 15?
14, yes. 15, still very limited success on that one. Um, I wish minors could be more successful at 15, but I don't know. Maybe I have to revisit super minors.
Yeah, I gotta say, I push the button on my 14 because I am having some fun at 15 with I think it's the super hogs that have helped me have some more fun, meaning
Hmm.
success. and um some of these pets, the second level of pets, meaning or the next four pets at 15. That now granted I still use a unicorn, right? I don't use
Hmm.
Frosty. But I just love those pets.
Yeah, I've been using the poison lizard on one of my 15s and actually enjoying using that.
So, okay, let's move on to our top five and our category for the week. Top five ways to unwind and recharge. Kat, would you like to go first, or you want me to
Sure.
belt one out?
I'll give you my number five. Five is just kind of lounging around on the deck with a glass of wine.
Are you doing that now?
No, there's too many wasps out there.
Well, that doesn't sound like unwinding and recharging if you're fending off the Canadian wasps.
They're monsters.
Do they apologize after they sting you?
No,
No. Well,
how
they're
dare they?
even worse. They're American wasps. Um, my number 5 is kayaking. Um,
Nice.
and now I don't own one, but I got to rent one. But I just like going out, being on the water, and just going where I want, and hopefully making my way back to the launch point. But just just looking at nature, and that's basically going to that's a very strong hint of how the rest of these are going to go for me.
Nice.
Number 4, Kat.
Number 4 is going for a walk. It's just nice to go by yourself out for a walk. And
Well, that's my number 4 also. It's staring at me. It says long walk, and the more A, daylight, and B, away from homes and businesses and stuff, the better. You don't
nice.
want to be walking in the dark in a rural setting where you'd be attacked by a possum or something. But
You do meet some strange creatures on your walks, I must admit.
I do. So what's your number 3?
My number 3 is just reading a book.
That's
I love
good.
to read.
Any particular genre?
Right now, I am working my way through the Wheel of Time series. There's like 15 books in the series or something. So I wanted something that had a lot of longevity. That's going to take me through probably a few winters to read.
Oh, very good. That's a great one. So my number 3 is the simple nap, and
Ah,
just
yeah.
a 15 to 30-minute nap feels
hmm
so good. You're number 2.
Number 2, watching a movie on a rainy day.
Hmm. That's very close to my number 1. Not quite. My number
That's
2,
me.
a fire pit with
Ooh.
friends. 'Cause I could just sit there on a warmish or even a coolish night and just look at the stars, the
hmm
sound of the fire, and the company of friends. That's a good time.
That sounds nice.
You're number 1.
And number 1, playing Clash of Clans.
Oh, that's a stressor, isn't it? I mean, isn't playing Clash of Clans for you being in Discord, being on voice, doing this, doing that, doing 18 things at once?
I find it more or less kind of relaxing at the end of the day.
Oh, good. So
Just
you can relax next time by doing all the CWL rosters and giving.
no, no. I have my limits. What's your number 1?
Uh, so, uh, watching Mother Nature in general, especially like rain. Like
Mhm.
I will just pop out onto my front porch, which is covered. And if there's some good snowfall, a good rain, even distant thunder, I will just go outside and sit and listen and admire.
That sounds nice. All right. We are at shoutouts. Do you have any shoutouts, Vado?
No,
Okay.
no kidding. So obviously it's that time of month. So thank you to Peter, Magnus, Cat, everyone who helped organize CWL, Outlaw. So I know it's always like herding cats, and you guys deal with personalities, you deal with baloney, and you come back for more the next month. So my kudos to you.
Thank you. My shout out is to Ace for helping me out on my attacks. He's always willing to talk about how to hit a base and give me advice. So shout out to him, and a big shout out to his lovely wife Susie for putting up with all of us crazy folks on voice with him every night. So those are my shout outs.
Excellent.
And thank you everybody for listening. The CFF is a family of clans who love to play games such as Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, among others. You can send questions or comments to us on Twitter at RedthornCOC. To get more information on our clans, events, and podcasts, join the CFF Discord at discord.gg/clashfiles.